Picture a hill rising high above the Arabian Sea. You can actually smell the salt water in the air. The sun is setting. And right in front of you is a massive cave. It was carved directly into a sheer rock cliff back in the 6th century. Just imagine the absolute scale of that labor. Inside the cavern, 3 immense faces emerge from a single block of stone. The figure is 20 feet tall. It casts these deep, deep shadows in the fading light. It has stood there in silent watch for 1,400 years. This towering monument sits at the very heart of a massive theological puzzle. Because Hinduism, famously, has 330 million gods. That massive number is not a mistake, but it is definitely not what you think it means.
I'm AJ, and looking at this immense statue, my first thought was that it's 3 completely separate gods. I'm MJ, and that is the exact mistake most people make. It's just one. Look really closely at the raw rock right behind the faces. They don't just share a base, they emerge from the exact same block of solid stone. So here is the thesis for this explainer. Hinduism does not have 330 million gods. It has one ultimate reality told in 330 million ways. Understand why a tradition would actually do that, and you are looking at the most sophisticated theology any civilization has ever built.
Wait, hold on. The actual logistics of that math make 0 sense. How do you even begin to keep track of 330 million distinct gods? Where did a number that massive even come from?
Well, the trail starts in an ancient collection of hymns called the Rig Veda. It was composed around 1500 BCE. Now, this isn't just a book. It is literally the absolute oldest surviving text in any Indo-European language. There's a specific phrase written inside it. Treya Shamsati Koti Devata. Early Western translators looked at the Sanskrit word koti, they translated it as 10 million. You multiply that by 33, and you get the famous number.
But context is absolutely everything here, because the word koti in older Vedic Sanskrit also means category. Read the text that way, and the whole phrase changes completely. It actually says 33 classes of divine beings. The text lays out a highly organized cosmos. It names 11 deities of the sky, the solar figures, 11 deities of the earth, the fundamental elements, and 11 deities of the atmosphere. That equals 33, not millions.
No way. So the entire concept of 330 million gods is just a giant mistranslation? Why didn't scholars just correct the record and move on? Because the reality goes so much deeper than grammar. Over the centuries, the tradition actually let the larger number stand on purpose. As the religion spread across the Indian subcontinent, it absorbed countless local deities and regional beliefs. The exact mathematical count was never the actual point. That astronomical number became a powerful metaphor. The ultimate point is that the divine wears infinite faces.
There is a really vital line in the Rig Veda, Book 1, Hymn 164. Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. Truth is one. The wise speak of it in many names. Now think about what that actually means for a civilization mapping out the cosmos. It is a profound philosophical shift. Multiple names and wildly different forms all point right back to a single underlying truth.
Okay, then what about the really big names? Are Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva literally just different names for the exact same thing?
Yes, they absolutely are. They make up what's called the Trimurti. To understand a universe this incredibly complex, the ancient thinkers personified the life cycle of literally everything. Think about the life cycle of a store, or a human life, or even a single breath. Absolutely everything experiences creation, preservation, and destruction. These are just cosmic functions given recognizable human forms.
Take a look at Vishnu. He represents preservation. He maintains the intricate cosmic order. When the balance of the world tips dangerously toward chaos or evil, Vishnu intervenes. He descends into physical form as an avatar. Figures like Rama or Krishna, those are avatars of Vishnu. He comes specifically to restore justice to the earth. He is one crucial facet of the one reality. And then you have Shiva. People often call him the destroyer, but that word carries a heavy negative Western connotation. Shiva is really the transformer. In this theology, destruction is never a tragic end. It's the absolutely necessary clearing of the cosmic brush. Old structures must be swept away so entirely new life can grow. It is a perpetual recycling of cosmic energy. So creation and destruction exist perfectly together in one body. The divine feminine is equally central to this massive system.
This is Lakshmi. She represents prosperity, fortune, and essential creative energy. And she isn't just a companion, she perfectly complements the ultimate reality. There is this core concept called Shakti. It is raw divine energy. Without this feminine creative power, the male deities are entirely inert. The supreme goddess is the active power of the universe. But why stop there? If we already have creation, preservation, and energy covered, why do we need infinite other expressions? Because human minds struggle deeply with abstract concepts. We really need specific forms. Take Ganesh, for example. He is the beloved elephant-headed remover of obstacles. We cannot easily conceptualize sheer infinity. So we approach the divine through a personality we can actually understand. We need a face, a compelling story, and a personality to pray to. Ganesh gives a tangible form to the very human desire to overcome hurdles. Wait, MJ. I'm really trying to wrap my head around the true scale of this. So what you're saying is, the transformer who recycles the cosmos, the preserver of absolute order, and the elephant-headed remover of obstacles, these incredibly distinct, highly complex personalities are all literally made of the exact same substance? Exactly. Now we hit the deepest layer. At the absolute center of everything is Brahman. Brahman is the formless absolute. Contrast Brahman sharply with the colorful, dynamic gods we just saw. Brahman has no specific face. It has no elaborate story. It has no gender. It is just the raw, silent fabric of existence. It is the cosmic light from which everything emerges. Brahman is not a separate god with human traits. It's the highest universal principle. Think of Brahman kind of like an endless, deep ocean. All the 330 million gods are just waves on the surface. We are waves on the surface. We rise out of the water for a brief moment in time, but we are made entirely of the ocean. And eventually, everything crashes right back into it. It is the unchanging ultimate reality. Look really closely at this sacred geometry. It is called the Sri Yantra. Notice how your eye is immediately drawn outward. You have 9 interlocking triangles radiating far outward, but look at exactly where they start. They all depend entirely on a single central point of light. All the infinite, varied forms of the deities radiate out from that exact single point of truth, and they all merge right back into it.
Okay, that is a massive cosmic concept. How does an ordinary person even begin to connect to something so infinitely vast?
Through a vital concept called Atman. Atman is the eternal self within every single human being, and the core teaching here is genuinely breathtaking. Atman is absolutely identical to Brahman. The spark inside you is the exact same substance as the ultimate reality of the universe. Think about what that means for human empathy. You look at another person, and you recognize that the ultimate reality inside you is recognizing the exact same ultimate reality in them. It creates a profound spiritual oneness.
Wow, that completely shifts how I see human connection. But stepping away from the vast philosophy for a second, why does this highly sophisticated ancient theology still matter today?
Because humanity still struggles deeply to understand the infinite. Let's trace our path back. We started at the Elephanta caves at sunset. We saw 3 massive faces emerging from one solid rock. The oldest texts told us the absolute truth is one, but the wise call it by many names. So they gave us Vishnu, the preserver. They gave us Shiva, the transformer. They gave us Lakshmi for vital prosperity. They provided 330 million distinct ways to actually access the divine. The infinite faces are a brilliant feature of this system. They are absolutely not a bug.
What we have uncovered in this explainer is a tradition that profoundly respects human limitations. It knows our deep need for physical form, so it gives us highly relatable personalities, it gives us vivid stories. But it never stops there. It uses all of them to point directly back to a single, formless truth, one single reality behind absolutely everything.
The divine is far too vast for just one shape. It requires infinite expressions to even begin to capture it. So if the divine has 330 million faces, which one are you looking at right now?